furious when I made this, but welcome to a midweek review, December 1st. We are talking to you after unfortunate events occurred against the infamous bogey Brighton Hove Achalbian. How are you supposed to pronounce the Achalbian part? Why is it pronounced Achalbian when there's no CH in it?
It's Albion.
Albion?
Yeah.
Achalbian?
You may be thinking of West Bromwich Albion.
Oh, whatever. Fuck them
It's
all.
okay. It's been a bad day. It's fine. We'll let you off.
Just call them the fucking curse. That's what they are.
But I guess we're gonna go on a rant, talk about the match, and let everything out. If you haven't noticed, I made a beautiful little banner about 2.5 hours ago while I was watching the match, getting this thing ready, and we're just gonna have it going all throughout the show because that's just how I'm feeling. Those are the vibes I'm putting out today. So 1-1 against Brighton. Tom, please. I didn't even do an introduction. I'm so pissed off.
You didn't.
We have Tom and we got Tom and we got James, the usuals. Tom, please, just don't distract me from the game, but give me your thoughts, and maybe we can align our thoughts positively.
Well, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I just, it's frustrating. It just, the longer the game went on, you just knew it was coming. We should have put them up to bed really in the first half. I think you go in at 2-0 and, everything changes at that point. Or even in the second half, but even the way that we sort of just allowed them onto us when they were down to 10 men with Lallana going off for that 5 minutes, it was just like, just have control of the game just for 5 minutes, see it out. It was just beggars belief. And I don't know what we've got to do to beat them in the Prem. Gone are the days when we could slap them 6-0 with Ricardo Vazte in the Championship. But I'm sure we'll get into it. But honestly, that's as bad as it has been in a while. Not just at home, but at this season. But listen, don't get me wrong. Brighton play some good football. But I just thought with the fact they went down to 10, the fact that they had 2 subs had to come on and then 3, and I did think Tariq Lamptey coming on was going to be their sort of danger man, but my God, there's just so many issues with the last 10 minutes of the game for me that just compounded the misery. So, yeah, just another day at the office, unfortunately.
Yeah, James, please, just fill me with more negativity. I'm here for it.
I don't know. I agree. What have we got to do to beat this Poxy team? I've got no idea. We're in our best moment and we still can't beat this team. So it says it all, doesn't it? Let's be honest. In the 26 minutes in that first half, we had 25 passes, and that to me says it all. All right, when that stat come up, I was like, what's going on here? I thought Brighton were very good. And if they didn't score a goal, it would have been criminal. But the last 10 minutes of that game, right?
I'm just going to reset my internet just because I've been informed that it's very dodgy. Give me 2 minutes.
The last 10 minutes of that game, we were shite. Literally, you got Arthur Mazawaku, who we all know is absolutely crap. And why he's playing, I don't know. Moyes needs to take a lot of stick tonight because you don't bring Arthur on to see a game out like that. No chance.
Yeah, it's almost to the point where I know. So we lost back-to-back, and then we drew today. Drop points, and it just is like what's going on, and what's gonna happen. And again, just like any other season, surprises all over the shop, negative and positive. But yeah, I just really don't understand what Moyes was thinking with the substitutions, because I mean, we said before, I think Fornals is one of our better players. I would say we'll ask Tom when he gets back in here. Oh, here he is. Perfect timing.
Hello.
I was about to say the substitution when Fornals came off was borderline criminal to me.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask who we thought our man of the matches were. Me personally, I really you can say Declan Rice, but I usually like to steer off from him. But Declan Rice every match. But besides that,
I'll tell you,
I really thought Soufal.
I was going to say,
was my man of the match.
I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought he was very good. I think that was very Soufal of sort of first season Soufal. He's been a little bit off the pace, obviously, this season, but due to injury. But no, I thought he had a very, very good game, actually. And he completely nullified anything down that left throughout the entire game. And he put some wonderful crosses in as well. So, yeah, he looked very good. But the substitutions, again, scratching my head. I hate doing it, but Antonio just has to be held to account. His performances over the last sort of 8 or 9 games have just not been good enough. He's just completely ghosted. And this, unfortunately, is the problem that, we need another striker to help push him when he is on bad form, because at the minute, when he's out of form, there's no alternative to him. And I just thought, Benrahma again had a bit of a quiet game. Jared Bowen,
today, mate.
Jared Bowen. It was okay at certain points.
He can't finish a Slim Jim, man.
He had that one opportunity in the first half, and I was just thinking about James when when he missed it.
I was literally raging. I yelled so loud at my television because it's week after fucking week, man. Like, put the ball in the back of the net.
Listen, it was a difficult one to control, is what I would say, because it was at pace, but it almost, you got to expect that
just
ball to
Craig
come back
Dawson to Shea Adams, just fucking rip it.
What it is you've got a player there who's getting into positions but no end product, and that is a problem. Like, he's doing all the hard work, he's getting there, and he's spooning it over the bar or wide or fucking anything. Benrahma was poor tonight. I'll be the first one to say that. I thought he was poor going forward. Thought defensively he was good, but poor going forward. But on the 75th minute, we're 1-0 up. And then he brings on Arthur, which to this day I cannot work that out.
Yeah, I think
just can't work it out, Tom.
Yeah, with Benrahma, I think it was today. It almost looked like he was trying to do too much at times, and he did sort of come inside and have a few pop shots now and again, which is fair enough if they're at least on target or troubling the keeper. But unfortunately, he didn't do that. And I just thought there were a couple of times where he tried to do too much, which is very similar to what Masuaku did when he came on, because he just tries to just dribble past everybody. You get him into the, a good position down the left, and it's just release the ball, do something. But even then, when there was sort of 5 minutes to go just before they scored, why he was so far up the pitch down the left-hand side, I don't know. Just caused him to be out of position, especially for the goal again today. Now, you could have say that Dawson shouldn't have been bullied as much as he was by Mopai, and I would say 100%. But Masuaku's got to know that Tariq Lamptey is going to be trying to get in behind the fullback.
Basically, Tom, I've just done this one on my thing with Lucas. Arthur's coming on to stop Lamptey, and he didn't stop him, did he?
No.
He's got one fucking job to do, and and he can't even do that properly. Do you know what I mean?
It's quite an eye-opening thing that when Brighton need to get something from the game, they don't bring an attacker on per se. They go for their attacking right back because he's that good. And do you know what? I'd have even rather have had Johnson over there. If we were going to go 5 at the back, put Johnson over at left back and just bring Diop on. I would not go with Masuaku against Tariq Lamptey. It is a recipe for disaster.
So
as soon as they went down to 10 men, Krell should have been on. Krell, Souček, flood that midfield, stop them getting the passes through. Because the amount of time, I don't know about you boys today, but the amount of times I was cutting balls through the middle of us. Literally passing straight through us.
Speaking of that,
Lewis Dunk had a few.
Or across the pitch fucking balls. The
Diags.
I like that. I can't even think of the fucking word. Every time we tried to switch play, he got fucking intercepted. It was fucking terrible. Antonio tried it twice, failed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Antonio won't get the stick tonight. That's the thing. And I've seen it on social media. I see Gio got a bit of stick because he said Antonio played crap. Tell you what, I have people say it to me because I can tell them straight. Antonio, since he's come back from Jamaica, he's not the same player, mate.
Not to jump too far ahead, but I mean, after tonight, there's got to be some sort of statement made. Like, I know he's our only striker, but there's got to be something done. Like, if we see Bowen at striker on Saturday, I honestly really wouldn't give a damn.
No, but he will play him though on Saturday. He will play.
Yeah, but the problem is we're too predictable now.
Yeah,
just too predictable. 4-2-3-1 tonight, and like, let's be honest, right? I know I let Tom say his thing in a minute, yeah. But I look at that tonight, even with 10 minutes to go, right? They've got 10 men and we're defending. It's just embarrassing, isn't it? Go on, mate.
But that's the thing, though, is that, you know, against Liverpool, at least we tried to throw something different at them.
Love
you
that,
know,
by the way.
And you know, when he noticed that it wasn't working, he made a change at half time to bring Fornals into the middle a little bit more. But I just, for the life of me, this is the kind of game, like we said, we really would like to see Lanzini start, even if it was just for one game, and maybe to give Benrahma a rest, to just show him that his position isn't, you know, a solid thing every single week. Make him work a little bit harder. Make him realise that he's not been at his best. But the problem is with Antonio is that what can we do at that point? Because it's either we put a makeshift right winger up at striker.
There's got to be a wake up call. Like I said,
but unfortunately, Antonio's got nobody to push him.
Yeah,
you know, to say.
But that's why I'm saying, like, on Saturday. I mean, it's not going to happen. But like, say on Saturday we see the lineup come out and Antonio's not in there, but it's Bowen up top. I really wouldn't be too peeved about it because, like, we got to fucking do something different.
Yeah.
The problem is with it is we get to the 75th minute, we're 1-0 up and we're still in control. Even though they're all over us and dominating us to a point, we're still winning the game. The thing I cannot understand, and I'm going to ask Tom this, is why was Fornals sub, mate?
I don't know. I think that one confused me just simply because if you want to add a little bit of control to the game, you want players like Fornals. You also want to bring in players like Lanzini that will keep hold of the ball, that will look to make that pass. Those are the kind of players in that kind of position that you need to be bringing on. Players like Bowen, Masuaku, they're thought
technical players, basically.
Yeah, technical player. But at that point, the players like your Bowens, your Antonios, your Masuakos, they just want one thing, and that's just to go forward with the ball. They don't think about anything else. So you do want your technical players on, your players that will help you in that scenario. And I just, for the life of me, I couldn't understand the Fornals change. I would have even brought Antonio off and put Bowen up there, even if it was just as an out ball for the last 20 minutes of the game, just to bring some solidity on and see the game out. But the fact that he brings Masuaka, honestly, and I know that Scott said there in the comments, and he said that he doesn't look fit. Rebecca said to me in the first 5 minutes of the game when he was running, he just looked clumpy. He just looked like
he's
Antonio
looking like
Bold.
Yarmolenko.
Yeah,
running around.
Yeah, he's just looked completely off the pace.
Say.
No, I know, but he's just looked completely off the pace the last few weeks, and maybe yes, he does need a rest. But I also think the fact that he doesn't have that person to push him. And the thing is that people are going to push for Sonny Perkins to start. The thing is, I'd love to see Sonny Perkins starting in the first team, but realistically, against Rudiger and Thiago Silva, he's you're just basically you're signing his death warrant before he's even played the fucking game. Like,
it's another Meepo or the Becchio scenario again, all over again. Right, this should have been sorted out back in the summer.
I will admit, though, I don't think Sonny Perkins would get subbed on and subbed off.
Yeah, but you've got to admit, though, we've known about a left back at this club and a striker for a long time, for a hell of a long time, and we can see it as fans, us three here and the people in the chat. So why the fuck can't they see it?
And we're getting an attacking midfielder.
Yeah,
another.
And
one.
the thing with Arthur, right? And people will go, "Oh well." And I had it today on Facebook earlier on. Someone said to me, "Oh, you can't blame Arthur." You can when he's come on to do a job to Mark Lamptey, he gives him half a yard to cross the ball, and he puts a peach of a ball in, and Neil Maupay probably scores one of the best goals of his career. You can criticise him for that.
Yeah,
because that's what he's supposed to do.
And you'd have thought of David Moyes, especially with a fullback that is not, and especially a fullback that 2 weeks ago did exactly the same thing, or even a week ago, and lost his man against Wolves or wherever the game was. This Tariq Lamptey, same geezer that created the most chances when he played last week against, I can't remember who they were playing against.
Leeds.
And he created the most chances in the game from that position.
Brighton have 3 very good fullbacks. I like Veltman a lot, and then obviously Cucurella and Lamptey are ballers.
Yeah, see, the thing with Veltman is he's more of a centre half, come right back. He's not really a thing, but Cucurella, I wouldn't mind either. I said to Rebecca, Cucurella is not going to stay at Brighton for long. He's far too good. I think Barcelona wanted to reactivate his
I was just about to say that
before he went back to Brighton, because I think they had a buyback clause on him. So he's very, very, very good, both going forward and defensively. And he's got the pace. He's got that killer ball he can do. And that's what they're so good. Those balls into the midfield. I drown
myself right now with this gallon of water.
Oh, let him do it. But like James said, those balls into the midfield, and then they're able to switch the play, spread it out wide, get an overlap, get another man in behind. Especially, and for me, Masuaku was not the answer at that point to bring on. Ben Johnson was having a decent game up until that point at left back. He is far better at staying back and just doing the defensive work.
But again, it's just another fucking match where, like, I really don't think we played that terrible when you break down, like, the 3 phases. Souček and Rice, in my opinion, good. Defending was not bad. Just the fucking final third is so piss poor.
Yeah, but it ain't just that, though, Lucas, right? How many times were they piercing balls through the middle of us? Even though Souček and Rice had a good game today, Basuma was getting them out around the pitch way too much. And Adam Lallana, flipping hell, never seen him that good for years. And he does it against us. And I'll just... You can look at the VAR decision, you can look at that and say, oh, the VAR, right, we should have got a goal. But the moment you bring Arthur Mezawaka on, you are asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Like, it's as simple as that.
Especially of all the teams that you play against, Brighton is not one of the teams where you want to match up Masuaku against one of their, arguably their best player. He's
their best player.
Yeah, it was just not the one. But I just don't like the fact that we almost rolled over. And listen, I can take them coming onto us. I can take them having all the possession in the world. Listen, at the end of the day, if we get the result and we attack with confidence and we have an end product at the end of it, that's fair enough. I do not mind. But I just will not stand for us just getting rolled over and our tummy tickle. There was a point in the second half where for 10 minutes they had about 90% possession of the ball.
I see it, 86-14. I see it. Yeah,
are we playing Brighton at home? Are we playing City at home? You know, you're just giving them far too much respect. And like I said, that last 10 minutes, but the fact that you're playing against 10 men and you're just allowing them onto you.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing that's beyond me. Me and James were talking about yesterday. I mean, who in their fucking right minds would have gone into today thinking that Brighton were going to have 70% possession, basically, on us at home? That's fucking unbelievable.
For me, listen. There's a few teams. Listen, I'm not taking nothing away from Brighton because I think Graham Potter's a fantastic manager, and I think he's got them well drilled, and he's got some very good players in some key positions that make his system work very well. But I cannot accept having Brighton having 70% of the ball at home for me. That's just too much. That is, I'd expect that from City. I'd expect that from Chelsea.
Yeah, I agree. Everything Tom's saying
for a team that parks
everything Tom's saying is bang on the money.
I don't want to say Brighton park the bus, but like for a team like Brighton to do that to us, that's absolutely.
Let's put it this way, gents. Right, the best way of summing this up is which team was the top 4 team and which team was the other.
I was literally about to say, you're a top 4 team. You need to prove your credentials this season. Yeah. We know that the gap now is it's 7-8 points between the rest. Chelsea, Liverpool, and City are going to run each other to the final few weeks of the season. That 4th place is so up for grabs this year. It's unreal. There's a top clubs are in free fall this season, and it is. This was the perfect game for us.
Top 6 ain't going to be fucking easy either.
But this is the thing. If we're saying 70% possession, right, and we are the top 4 side here. We are the side that's currently in the top 4, and you're allowing them to have that much of the ball. And listen, I thought Basuma was fantastic tonight. I thought we gave him far too much space as well in the midfield. I thought he was. It's a shame that he's a bit of a whatever it is that he is,
Yeah.
rapist or whatever, because we don't know how that's going to go down with his court case
Allegedly.
and whether or not, whether or not he'll actually go down or not. But yeah, perfect little replacement for Rice. But we've given a team that realistically we should have at points dominated, given far too much credit, and our end product this evening was absolutely awful. And I don't want to be like that bitchy, moany fan that we've not won in 3 games now.
Don't worry, I'll do that tonight.
I know we're 4th in the league, but the last 3 games, the way that we have just rolled over at times. Fair enough for the City game, we kind of expected it, and that was a free hit for me. I didn't, but the Wolves game and this game specifically, we have just looked so poor. We've looked devoid of anything going forward, and that's what James said at the start: is that there's just no. Everybody knows how we're going to play now, and there's no difference. There's no, some of these players need to come in to say to these attacking players, look, your place is at risk because you're just not performing.
Whose fault is this though, Tom? Because we've all known, as I said previous, we all know we need a striker at this club. Right? They must have looked at it and thought, right, Moyes has to take a bit of criticism tonight, I'm afraid, right? For some of the shit he has done tonight. And I just don't understand the Fornells one. I really don't. And I'm not Fornells' biggest fan, but I can sit there and go, he deserves to stay on the pitch. I can understand the Ben Rama one because I thought Ben Rama was poor going forward. But when you're trying to see a game out, because that to me looked like, let's see the game out.
But to me, that's what I can't stand is that that reminded me of a team 3 years ago when Moyes was.
If Sam Allardyce would have done that years ago, he would have got slated, and he's acting like Sam Allardyce there.
Yeah, and I cannot for the life of me understand. We looked like we were the ones that were towards the bottom end of the table, seeing out, hanging on to 1-0 against Brighton. I don't. There was a few decisions this evening that I just did not understand, and I think obviously that Fornals one for me, Antonio for me would have been the first one to get hooked. Bowen up top, Fornals in, Lanzini in, just do something. And the thing is, he's got to change it now. If he doesn't change it for Chelsea, and we do get run over, there will be sort of, well, hang on a minute, Moyes. You've got to do something different.
He's becoming stubborn. He's becoming stubborn now, and I was told this last year. When I first started doing the YouTube game, someone said to me, stubborn Moyes will appear from time to time. I think we're starting to see it now, gents. Because tonight, when I look at that team, we come out, we scored, we should be on the front foot. We had chances. We had some good chances, and Sanchez done some good saves. But as soon as that 75th minute come up and Fornals went off, I looked at it and I thought, you've just dropped a major bollock putting Arthur there. Because we all know Arthur isn't good enough. And I ain't going to put soul blame on Arthur because we weren't good enough in 75 minutes of that game, right? But you've got to look at Moyes tonight. I think Moyes' tactics are becoming predictable, and we are becoming predictable as a team.
The thing is, as well, you can see Fornals' defensive work rate, especially when he's on that left-hand side, is brilliant because he goes up and down. He does stick his oar in almost where it isn't needed sometimes. And he does that defensive work. That side of his game is fantastic, which helped if maybe he would have gone with Diop and brought, Johnson out to the left, and Fornals could have helped cover. Not Masuaku, man. It beggars belief is what I would say. Beggars belief. You knew the second that Masuaku came on, something was going to happen with Lamptey, and it just. We played into Brighton's hands so much by doing that. It was just not good enough.
Let me ask you this, Tom. What do you make of Seaman tonight?
I thought he was okay. I didn't there was a few times where he it took a heavy touch, or obviously when he tried to clear his lines, I think it was in the second half, and he sort of raked down the side of Lana Studs or wherever it was. The thing is, though, how much of that would we have seen if he was with Ogbonna? I don't know. I'm missing. I think we're missing Ogbonna so much. I think the fact that Diop is probably the closest thing we've got to Ogbonna. He needs to get some form of time. I want to give him all the benefit of the doubt, but I think it is, for me, I think the attacking side just is letting the rest of it down, because I thought at times we did defend quite well, but I would probably say probably his worst game for Azuma
Here's
so
a bit
far.
of positivity I needed for my DC Irons brother, Tarek.
I slightly disagree with him on that, though, bruv. Because Moyes is the man who picks the team. Moyes is the man who brought Masuaku on. And Moyes needs to get criticism tonight, I'm afraid. He's not too good for it, really. And like, what I can't understand is Arthur Masuaku on Sunday done a howler for the first goal for City. All right, everyone said, "Oh, it was icy conditions and all that," and right, excuse. So what's the excuse tonight? That's the question, and the answer is he can't fucking defend, and he is not good enough defensively, and we need a left back at this club. And I actually thought, I think me and you spoke, Tom, and we said we might be able to get round it with the left-hand side. I think we addressed that you need a left-back now. No Cresswell, we've got a major problem on that left-hand side.
The thing is that, like I say, I honestly thought, like, obviously, Johnson, when he gets in the final third, he's going to obviously want to cut back onto his right foot. So it becomes a bit predictable when he's in the final third of the pitch because his left foot obviously isn't as good as his right. But I thought defensively, he was still exactly the same player down that left. He didn't really have... He wasn't struggling, is what I would say. His defensive capabilities are solid, you know. So obviously, we do need a new left back, but I didn't mind Johnson being the cover because defensively, his game is actually very sound. But there you go. But listen again. I don't want to take our position for granted. And I know that we're fourth in the league. I know we're having an incredible season. I know we do. But it's little things in the last couple of weeks that are making me feel like we're seeing a West Ham of old, and I don't like that. It's just little things reminding me of Moyes' first spell in charge, times under Pellegrini, times under Bilic. Basically,
West Ham way.
Yeah, exactly, like the West Ham of old. And it's those little small things creeping in that unfortunately can end up derailing our season.
And the thing is,
it's not like I want to have a go at everybody. It's just I'm passionate because I know that we've taken that step to the next level. Let's keep at that and build on that. Yeah. And that's all it is.
But you're 100% right. And when people say, "Oh, we're still fourth," we won't be fourth for long if we keep playing like that. That is definitely like an absolute cert. If we keep playing like that, and let's put it this way: we play like that against Chelsea, we're getting hammered 5-0. And that's no two ways about it. If we give Chelsea 80% of the ball, we ain't winning the game at all. And it's disheartening, really, if I'm honest, is the word I'm looking for. I wasn't disheartened on Sunday. I was like, thought, you know what? Sunday, we've just played City. I'm gutted that we lost, but I'm not disheartened. Tonight, I'm disheartened because I look at that team and I think, it's fucking Brighton. We can't even beat Brighton.
I think as well, it's, for me as well, that this is another reason why it's not. Oh, we can talk about Vlasic and the fact that he's not getting his game time and he's not playing, especially after he had one of his best performances in a West Ham shirt, and he's not had any time since then. But it's another reason why we need the likes of Vlasic, Lingard to get that game time, in the likes of Lingard in to start pushing these lads, because, like I say, it's just all become too comfortable for them. And the thing is, the talent's clear there because the first few weeks of the season they were on red hot form. And their major game time and a little bit tired. I don't know. I don't understand what's happened because for all the while we've lost games. It's only been by 1 goal this season, and that's obviously the sign of a very good defensive team. And the fact, if you looked at the average positions in the first half, I think Prime had it up on there. The way we were set out, we are a very difficult team to break down, and that's a good thing. And the thing is, we go to Chelsea, we'll say, "Oh, we'll get spanked." I don't think we'd get spanked. Maybe we lose, 3-1 or something. I think that would be my prediction for the weekend. I don't think we'd roll over because I don't think our defence would allow it. But something has got to give with this end product at the moment because it is just, like I say, it's West Ham of old almost.
But are we too defensive, Tom? That's the problem.
I think that's Moyes as a manager, though. I don't mind that because he wants to set up with a defensive mindset.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if he wants to do that and he wants to play that counter-attacking football, then obviously you need your front 3, your front 4 players, whoever's going forward, to be able to be dynamic, be able to switch positions like they do constantly across the front 3, but just have a bit of end product. That's all we're asking for. And the It's just frustrating because I know that all of those players across the front four have got end product. With just the last few weeks, it's just non-existent. But this is what I don't get. Against Rapid Vienna, we look absolutely solid. We look comfortable, and I know it's only Vienna, but even then, there was still big chances that we were creating, and we looked a lot more solid. But yeah,
we haven't played well. We haven't played well since the international break, have we? Let's be honest here. Like, even against Liverpool, we played well, but all the goals come from set pieces. Like, we're not scoring no goals from open play.
Apart from Fornals as one.
Apart from Fornals is one, yeah. But the other two come from set pieces. We're relying heavily on set pieces and free kicks and all sorts. So, to me, the way I look at it is we are looking very predictable as a team at the minute. People go, you know what we'll do? We'll flood the midfield, and West Ham, we can get at West Ham. And we've seen it time and time again. This old 4-2-3-1 system is not working at present. And it needs to change, doesn't it? Really, if truth be told. What do you think, Lucas?
Yeah, something's got to change. Like I said, I'll take any change at this point to be unpredictable. I mean, do I want our best players playing? Yeah, but like
Thing is, though, but sometimes with professional footballers or even just athletes in general, sometimes it just needs that one thing to say, right, your place isn't cemented. You know, I will hook you if you know. I don't want Moyes to go down that same route.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to go down the same route as Slaven Bilic did, which is he got his starting 11 sorted and he got very pally with the players and ended up letting him down. And I don't think that'll be the case because I do think that Moyes is very hard in his ways and, you know, you have to do X, Y, and Z. But there is so many players that we've sort of said this season that needed their chance. I wanted Lanzini to start more than anything. And he proved why when he came on that he needs to be at least
that run down the left-hand flank was very
exactly
nice.
But that's what Lanzini can bring, and that's I would have liked to have seen that tonight. And that's the thing. It is
what it is, Tom.
I
know what you're saying, but what it is, when I keep hearing this crap about Antonio, about he's got credit in the bank because he's been here and look what he's done. And my attitude to that is, and I've said it numerous.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah, I've said it on numerous occasions. I said, how long do you give him credit before that credit runs out?
Yeah. The thing is, I've not wanted to openly criticize. I don't like constantly criticizing players because I think there's always a chance that they'll always come back. They'll always try. There may be a game or two. I'll always give you the time of day. The thing is, what I'm saying, I'm not criticizing per se him as a person, him as the player. I'm just criticising his recent performances. That's it. And I desperately do not want us to be seen as a set-piece team that can only score goal because we proved in those first few weeks of the season, some of the moves we did. There was a move earlier on in the game when I think it was Lanzini's run down the left and then we cut the ball back inside. We shifted it over to Soufal and then Antonio had the header and stuff. That's the kind of football that we saw in the first few weeks of the season. And maybe it will only take just that one goal, that one little thing just to open it back up and the confidence will start coming again. But for a team as high as we are, that front seems so bereft of confidence. It is a little bit worrying, but at the same time, I will back them because they're good enough. They're very, very good players to bounce back and actually, make a change. But there even needs to be a few players that have guaranteed, if we say the likes of Bowen, likes of Antonio, likes of Benrahma, just dropped for one game or not played or said, listen, you better buck your ideas up or because we've got players here hot on your heels that are ready to take your starting place away from you. That's all it takes. And it's got such a busy period. This is the exact time we need to be rotating in some of those players. And like we say, Lanzini has done more than enough to should have warranted a start tonight. For me,
that's what makes it tough.
Is he a starter though, Tom? Lanzini for you? I understand it.
He may not be, but I would like to, off of his recent performances, at least give him a start and see how he runs
60
it.
minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, Lanzini last season, when we used to bring him on or start games, he would often not do as well. But then he would come off the bench and he would impact the game and he would do stuff. And it would be, we were like, oh, Lanzini needs to start. And then he'd start and then he'd drop a 60-minute howler and then he'd come off and then he'd go back to being a bench player again. Even if it was just, whilst he looks as good as he has done when he's coming on, even just giving him just a couple of games. And listen, the fact that we've got a London derby coming up means that Lanzini will probably have a fantastic game because he loves the London derby for some reason. So, perfect time to play him. I wouldn't call Chelsea a free hit because I still look at Chelsea sometimes when they play and I still think they're there to be got at, especially defensively. Reece James is potentially out for the weekend. We don't know. He wasn't in the Chelsea squad tonight.
Yeah, I think
obviously
Chilwell
went down as well. Chilwell went down as well, and he's going to be out for Alonso. So already there's not a lot of pace. If they play Azpilicueta at right back and Alonso at left back, all of a sudden, we should have a pace advantage down that left-hand side and the right-hand side. So, I think Man City are Man City, and I think they are with Liverpool. I watched the second half of that Liverpool game tonight against Everton. I know we've just beaten Liverpool, but when those two teams are on song, I think they are untouchable almost. But with Chelsea, I think they haven't conceded more than 1 or 2 goals this season themselves. But there are points in games where teams can get on top of them, as shown tonight by Watford. I didn't see the game, but by all accounts, there was a period of the game where Watford managed to come back into it. And Chelsea will have that occasional frailty about them. And I still think there's something to be had there for the weekend. But it's got to be some changes. If we go into that game with the same starting 11, fair enough if we get a result. I'll take my hat off to you, David Moyes. You got it right, whatever. But I'll be so disappointed because there are some players that really do deserve that.
That's the only thing that sucks about the whole rotating is that, of course, when we really need to do it, fucking Chelsea on Saturday. Which, I mean, if we want top 4,
nothing would surprise me us turning them over on Saturday.
The thing is, I could say, we need a bit of a reality check. We need a bit of a thumping almost to say, buck your ideas up. But I think the Wolves game for me should have been enough to say, right, Jesus, lads, that was like a woeful performance. That's completely away from you.
For sure.
City we expected. But even tonight, that's another wake-up call. How are you going to allow Brighton to have 70% of the fucking ball?
You know what I think it might be? Until
how many
we
more
drop
wake-up
out.
Calls? How many more wake-up calls do we need? Is what I'm trying to say. Before
we drop out of the top 4,
okay.
top 6.
Exactly. And then, especially around Christmas time, is when the gaps start appearing. Now, what gap are we going to be left in? Are we going to be in the one that is between 4th and 6th, that is hunting for that 4th position in European football? Or are we going to go on a bit of a run where we start losing games? We've got Arsenal as well, don't forget, coming up. And all of a sudden, that gap between 4th and 6th, if we drop down to, say, 8th, 4th and 6th starts to go away, and then it becomes harder to get back up there. I really don't want to be too negative, but I'm embarrassed by some of the performances tonight. Well, so.
This is the thing with the fan base at the present. People keep saying, we're still 4th. Right? I want to stay 4th in May. I don't want to be 4th now in December. I want to be 4th in May. And for me, I agree with what you just said. Right? How much more wake-up calls do we need before we start realising it's either the system's not working or the players are not working? I personally think the system's wrong. I've said it for a long time. I think you need to go with a 3-man attack. Yeah, if it means putting someone out, then so be it. I think Alex Krell is desperately needing this team. I'm sorry, but Krell and Souček together as 2 DMs and have Rice as a more advanced midfielder in a 4-3-3 system. 4-2-3-1 for me, we just get overrun. People go, right, we'll play 3-4-3 against them or 4-3-3 against them, and we've got the midfield battle straight away. And
the thing is, I did notice tonight, I think at times that he did almost, when we were in defence, go 4-4-2 because Bowen dropped, as did Ben Rama on the left-hand side almost to try.
But is that the right way though, Tom?
No, I can understand why he did it because I think doing that obviously gives you a little bit more protection down the left and the right-hand side if you've got both your quote-unquote wingers or advanced players in the defensive half of the field. And Fornals and Antonio were the 2 up top that were pressing. But I think we were so worried about the threat that they possessed down that left-hand side. It did open up so many gaps in the middle because Lewis Dunk was just all night, just pumping balls, and especially Shane Duffy, who looked a bit more competent when he came on than Webster, just pumping one ball in. All of a sudden, everybody collapsed into the middle. Right, bang, we've opened up the spaces on either side. And the game plan's gone out the window. It's just a few things tonight. It's just little things. And I think you could see Rice was getting frustrated at it at times. Because I think players like him, that read the game well, could understand what was going to sort of beginning to open up and starting to happen.
Yeah.
But I just think like those balls into midfield, everybody collapsed, and then all of a sudden you've played right into their hands because then Cucurella can get forward, Lamptey or Veltman, whoever it was, they get forward, and then that's it. You're on the back foot, and I'm with you. Maybe 4-2-3-1, especially on current form, isn't working for us. But say,
yeah, I just don't understand. It just too many times now. Midfield's are overrunning us. Wolves done it. Brentford done it. They've done it tonight. Brighton, even Palace done it at one stage. Was 2-1 up, 1-0 up against them, and we managed to draw the game. I know it's a bitter one tonight, but it would not surprise me in the slightest. I'm not going to say it would sound crazy, but it wouldn't surprise me if we beat Chelsea on Saturday, because that's how we are. It's always been the West Ham way, isn't it? Fuck up on a Wednesday and on a Saturday turn up. But if we play like that against Chelsea, I fear the worst, mate. I think we get absolutely obliterated by them.
Yeah.
And if you look
the thing is,
if Lukaku turns up, then we are in trouble. But like that.
But I don't want to be seen. Like I said, I hate the thought that if people are watching, I always used to have this when we do stuff on Amish chat, and people go, "You're too negative. You're too negative. You're too negative." It's not. It's not that I want to be negative, because, like I said, I do understand the position we're in and the fact that we are the best team we have been in such a long time. And I just, in my head, I think that's what's bugging me, is the fact that these players over the last 18 months have showed what we are capable of. And the manager has showed.
It's not being negative though, Tom. When you've just seen a performance like that, where we've been absolutely fucking hammered at home, technically, we've been out-fought, out-passed. They've had more possession than us. They've had more shots than us. And
I think it's just because I'm so, like, even for me, like, I'm so nervous sometimes to go on Twitter after a game and criticize someone, because everybody just jumps in on you and go, "Well, you can't do that. You can't do that." I think it is, like I say, it's only because I know the level in which this team can perform at, and it's just the recent performances.
People have got to understand.
There's nothing wrong with expecting that.
Yeah, but people have got to understand. No man is like. Every man
apart from Declan Rice.
Apart from Dec, who's world class, right? And yet again, he had a world class performance tonight. Our fault.
They can catch this opinion that I got.
Right. No one's is sort of free of criticism. Even Antonio. Antonio's been great for West Ham, but at present he's crap. He's non-existent. And when you roll back to, say, 2 months ago, at the start of the season, he was up for it. And to me personally, I feel like Antonio's running out of steam. And he's running out of that sort of, like, he was up for it at the start of the season.
Well, like take the Spurs game, for example, when he was just laying Romero out on his arse and stuff. We haven't seen that in the last few weeks. No.
Let's be honest, Tom. When would you say his last real good game was? Leeds?
Probably, Leeds.
So that was Jamaica. The end of September. Or for Jamaica. So if you say for West Ham, it was the end of September, and for Jamaica, it was a month ago, or 3.5 weeks ago.
That's why I was so desperate when that VAR call came in that it was Antonio that scored, because I thought, oh, fantastic. There's just a little confidence boost for him that he's got a goal and he can build on that. But obviously then that gets taken away, and then obviously the final result happened. But it's like, I said, I really don't want to be that negative Nancy, but I think I've come to expect it now, because, like I said, the first sort of 2 months of the season, we were absolutely on it. As you just said there, James, we were on it every single week. We were fighting for the 3 points. We were doing everything right. And it was weird, because every weekend we're going, right, well, we should be taking, battering this team, pushing them aside, doing that. And then when this result happens, it's like, well, hang on a minute. 3 weeks ago, you looking like world beaters. What's happened in 3 weeks? Someone
said to me on my show on E20 with Lucas before we come on here, and someone made a valid point, Matt. He turned around and said to me, he said, "Are we being overhyped now? Are we trying to be something? Are people got a perspective of West Ham at present that we're not? Like, when you look at us, we haven't got a striker, we haven't got a left back. Are we sort of massively overachieving, and people are thinking that we're better than we actually are?"
Well, on tonight's performance,
yeah.
If that's the kind of performances that we're going to put in every week and just scrape away with points and
And it's so hard not to be reactionary, but like in December, you kind of have to. You got to match every other day.
What we've got to understand is we've got some big games this month, massive, like the Carabao Cup quarter final. If you go and put a performance in like that at White Hart Lane,
is that next week or the week after next?
No, that's the 22nd of December.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if we go and put a performance in like that, then players will know about it, like because they will get absolutely destroyed. And we've got Arsenal to come. We've got Burnley away at Turf Moor, which we never win ever, even though we won last year. Every time we go up there, we always get hammered. And then we've got Norwich in between all that in the 18th, and then you've got Southampton on Boxing Day. So for me, in a roundabout way, we need to start putting our finger out. I think really he needs to try something against Chelsea. It's a free hit. It's a game that he's just got to go, you know what? I wouldn't even play Antonio. I thought Antonio, like, I'll just go with like a 3-man attack, a pacer up there. Do you know what I mean? But what it is, people will say about, Antonio's got to play because he's the bulldozer. He's the bulldozer without no fucking engine at the minute, I must admit.
Are we at home on the weekend or away?
Yeah, home.
Or home. That's the thing. The crowd should be there to get up for it as well, which should help us. And we do like playing Chelsea at home sometimes. It's one of our Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. We never ever do well at, but at least, well, apart from when Cresswell scored the other year and David Martin, but Chelsea at home usually with the crowd involved, it's it's usually a bit. I think we're an early kickoff, aren't we, on BT Sport?
Half 12.
Yeah,
half 12. Yeah,
we should be up for that. We should be up for that. But yeah, to take away from all of us just sat here fucking criticising people, what did you both think of the VAR decision tonight?
For me personally,
I know Luke because I saw his tweets all game.
Yeah. For me personally, I thought they was trying to look for a way of disallowing it. I've got it written down here, Tom. Funny enough.
The dreaded piece of paper.
No, it's a book now.
You've upgraded.
I've upgraded to a book, mate, and a Bic. But wow. All three decisions on that VAR was a foul on the goalkeeper, a foul on Lallana, and an offside. And they managed to come to the offside conclusion.
And all three of them were still wrong.
Well, for a start, a foul on the keeper, he ran into his own defender.
Yep.
The one on Lallana, he deliberately tried to block off and buy a foul and tried to almost like take a charge.
He got slapped by the slamming salmon.
Exactly, like just basically tried to get in the way of Dawson. If he'd have pulled Dawson down there, that would have been a penalty because of his positioning. He completely turned his back away from the ball and he was not looking whatsoever. But for me, at first, when I saw it, and I know the rule, obviously, that you've got to have two men behind the keeper at that point. It's a very vague rule, that one. But I thought.
What do you mean? What, two defenders? You mean behind the keeper?
I thought that. Yeah, I thought it's got to be two defenders behind the keeper. It can't. If it's just one, then it's. But I thought if it's two, then you're technically, as long as the player's onside, you're technically onside. It's such a vague rule. But see, this is what cracks me up as well, is the fact that from a corner, you can be, as long as the first ball hits you, you can be in an offside position. Because Souček did it. Souček ran back from an offside position when the ball had been played, and he headed it in. So he came from an offside position. So it's such a grey area. But the fact for me, the rule is from them that if it wasn't, that somebody's literally just put there 2 up, 2 down hammers in the comments. If it's not a clear and obvious error, if you're really having to zoom in and look at Antonio because he was onside, but if you are so unsure because you could not tell from those replays that it definitively touched Antonio, you have to allow the goal and go over the referee's on-field decision.
And then the Brighton goal, it took them 3 seconds. Like, fuck off.
Thing is, though, one thing I will say about the VAR thing, I don't want it to be the main. It's going to be the main talking point. Yeah, but I don't want it to be because I thought it was.
I don't understand is that
I don't want it to be either, but. Again, it's like we all know 48th minute. If we go 2-0 up, we see that game out.
What I don't also understand is I thought the rule was that if it touched the player before then touching somebody else, even if that player was stood in an offside position, that it didn't matter because the opponent had touched it. The offside rules are so intricate and vague at that point, especially when the keeper is beyond the defenders and the man.
I honestly didn't see Antonio touch the ball, but I guess he did. But it still doesn't matter because he was onside.
Yeah, personally, I didn't. Well, again, but then it falls into the keeper being further than the last two defenders. What does it? It is such a grey area, but by all accounts, this Jared Gillett was supposed to be the best VAR official in world football, and that's the reason why we brought him over from Australia to the Prem, was because he was supposed to be an absolute whiz at it.
Fucking hell!
Surely it has to be, if it is not clear and obvious. If you realistically, you have to zoom all the way in, and you still can't see whether or not Antonio definitively has got that touch, then you have to give.
You know how long I've heard those words being an American football fan?
What's that?
And now that it is in football, it's just fucking. It's beyond irritating. It's beyond exhausting.
The thing is, though, I will say this: I understand what Tom's saying. Tom's right in what he's saying. It should, if it's clear and obvious, if it ain't clear and obvious, then it should be given a goal.
Yeah, it should be the on-field decision.
But that, to me, just still doesn't change the fact that Brighton and Hove Albion, I'll say it again, Brighton and Hove Albion fucking had 67% possession at the LS. That just doesn't... I understand it's important. I understand it's a big moment, especially after half-time. We go 2-0 up. I think we win the game. But to give them all that possession and then they go down to 10 men and we still can't see it out. That, to me, it's just poor. But the VAR was a poor decision, really. Shocking.
And the thing is, I'm not like one of those other fans that I know there's a lot of fans that will
not like those other guys.
Yeah, no, but they'll cry out for VAR, but then when it happens to them on the other foot, they'll be like, "Oh, well, that shouldn't have been given or whatnot." If the same thing had happened to Brighton, I'd have said fair play. It needs to be consistent, you know.
I mean, so we all know who it works for and who it doesn't.
No,
we all know.
Careful, you'll get the channel shut down.
Oh, sure. I actually did get a Twitter warning today because one of my tweets, I was pretty aggressive and I added the Premier League.
I saw that. Was that you got warned for that?
I did. I said, "Fuck you and fuck off" at Premier League.
The only way we can look at this now, lads, obviously we're going to wrap it up in a minute, anyway. So the only way we can look at this is it's a point gained, I guess. That's anything I can say. Because it ain't, at least we ain't lost the game, but it feels like a loss. It really does. But knowing West Ham for all the years, and Tom will probably back me up on this, would not surprise me in the slightest if we beat Chelsea on Saturday. I'll be over the moon if we do. It'll be the West Ham way of old, but we've got to put in a better performance. For me,
I'll tell you what, quickly before you do that, for the Chelsea one, Zagreb next week, if he doesn't change it for Saturday against Chelsea, even if he doesn't field a weakened team, but he puts out players that he could think in his head, right, you're pushing for first team minutes, fucking do it. That is, again, a nice free hit game where you can play an 11 and play some players that haven't getting game time that can try and show you something.
We can foreshadow that real quick right now. Me personally, if I don't see Vlasic, Lanzini, Crow, Perkins, I don't want a whole. Everyone's like, put the youth team out there. No, you can put like a good amount out there, but fielding a whole youth team, I don't know about that. But like, if I'm honest, I want to see Vlasic, Crow, and I just want to see some.
If I'm honest, I want to see these fuckers in the Premier League. I don't want to see them in the Europa.
Yes.
I want to see Vlasic in the Prem. I want to see Crow in the Prem.
This is the thing, like, and I know we banter and back and forth about Vlasic and stuff, but surely he had a very, very good game that when he played, and he's had no minutes off of the back of it.
To me, Tom,
Lanzini 100% should have been starting for his recent performances in the Prem. But Vlasic should have gone on in confidence from that game, and Moyes has just neglected to put him in at all.
Nah, to me, Tom, and the way I look at it with this is that, how can I put this? Me and you have had backwards and forwards about Vlasic, and now Lanzini's getting in front of him.
Yeah,
and he is. Worrying. Let's be honest. And you look at him there, and you think we've got a £33 million player there. Who, let's be honest, we've got a player that people are saying might be getting sold. So it just, I don't know what's going on up there at the minute. Like it just seems like
in training. I can't for him and Kraut. It must be something in training that Moyes sees he don't like, because I, for the life of me, cannot understand why they haven't been getting minutes.
The Vlasic one, someone said it before, I think it might even be you. He's going to get games because he's an attacker, right? But he's not even getting on the pitch now, right? But the Kraut one makes no sense. Like Kraut should have been on tonight. Like as soon as they go down to 10 men, you go get Kraut on, another body in midfield, right, and go like a 4-4-2 system. Do you know what I mean? And have like, or even play
Diop on and just put Johnson out at left wing back. Christ, it's not that difficult.
Yeah. And to me, in my opinion, do you know what? I don't think Moyes has got any trust in them players on the bench other than Lanzini. I think he uses Arthur because he's got a left foot, but that's all he's got. Do you know what I mean? So
it's worrying for sure. I guess before we wrap it up, we can talk a little bit about what we want to see on Saturday, what we expect to see, how we think it might go.
I'm worried, Lucas. From me, I'm worried. If we turn up and we play like we played tonight, we're going to get hammered. There's no two ways about it. Ben Rama, I've supported the geezer through thick and thin. Lanzini come on, and Lanzini played well. Is Lanzini the solution? Possibly. But is that system the solution on Saturday? I don't think it is.
It's the worst situation when you have to make a change, when you know one player is better than the other, but change has to be made.
Yeah, and a 4-3-3 system, right, has to come into play. If you go, don't be surprised, and I really do mean this. Don't be surprised if he goes with wing backs against Chelsea.
I was going to say, I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go with Dawson. Try and make it as hard as possible if Lukaku does start to at least get some big beefy centre halves around him and try and make it as difficult for him as possible.
Yep.
That wouldn't stop me. Johnson at left back or Cresswell back.
I think Cresswell comes back. I think Cresswell will be back for that game. I think they'll give him a week off.
But would you see, for me personally, if Cresswell does come back, I'd like to see Soufal, Diop, Zuma, Cresswell at left centre back, and then potentially Johnson at left back. Because after that game from Soufal, I think I'd be loath to drop him, is what I would say, and I'm loath to drop Johnson because I think they're both on fire at the minute. Yeah,
I think really you've just picked the back five.
That would be my starting back five, basically.
I think that is the five, mate. If I'm honest, because there is no other five there. Like, who else you're going to bring in? You ain't going to bring Arthur in there as a left wing back. But people will say, "Oh, bring him in." Not for me.
If I was David Moyes this evening and I saw Dawson get done like that by fucking Mopai, what the hell is Romelu Lukaku going to do to him in that position? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is Lukaku?
And do you know what? If you go back and watch that goal, give Kufal some props. He's prepared to put his head right in front of that. Didn't he? Yeah, and he just didn't get his head there in time. And obviously, it's a great finish from Mopai. I've got to give him his due. Right? Even though he's like one of them horrible bastards that no one likes, but you got to give him his due. And the best way of summing up tonight, obviously, when you look at Mopai, you look at Antonio. Which one would you rather have? Because I thought Mopai was running the show for them tonight.
Yeah.
But
he's a fucking striker.
On Saturday, I can see a 3-4-3 coming all day long. He'll probably play. It wouldn't surprise me if he played Lanzini, Fornells, and Antonio, and leaves Bowen and Ben Rum on the bench. And you go with a 3-man midfield sort of thing. 2-man midfield with wing backs, 3 at the back.
I think he may even. Again, what we want and what he does is two separate things.
Yeah.
But with me, I thought Fabianski had a decent game at times. I'd have Fabianski made a fantastic save as well to keep Moder out.
I thought he was brilliant tonight. That
Yeah.
really did.
I'd have Soufal, Diop, Zuma, Cresswell, Johnson. I'd have Rice and Souček in the middle, and then I'd have Lanzini on the left. Oh no, Fornals on the left, Lanzini on the right, and then Bowen up through the middle. Just something different. Just throw something different at them. You have to do something different. You cannot go into that game with the same starting 11. And if he does, I'm loath to say that we'll get rolled over because we've obviously only lost when we've lost this season. We've lost by 1 goal. But Chelsea are a team that can easily put 3, 4, 5 past you. Fuck me, look what they did to Juventus the other week, and that's not an easy Juventus side to get past either. You've only got to
look at Leicester, what they done to Leicester the other week and all up there.
Yeah.
They didn't even play that well, and they just went straight through them like no problem. Yes. I hope tonight they've got in that change room. They've all sat around the change room and said, "Well, what is the crack with everyone?" Because to me, when I look at them tonight, you got Ben Rama's not running at anyone no more. You got Jared Bowen, whose final product is shockingly crap. Antonio is just Antonio, but he's not doing anything of any note to deserve a place as centre forward. But he's the only one we got. Fornals, I thought he was unlucky with when he hit the crossbar, which was a great effort. I got to admit. I thought he was okay, but fuck knows what Moyes was seeing tonight to take him off. And I'm not. Tom, you know me, right? You've known me long enough now. I've never been Fornals' biggest fan, but he don't deserve to get subbed tonight, mate. No. I will say that, and I'll be the first one to admit that. And just gutted, and I just hope we don't get rolled on Saturday.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I don't really know what to expect. I just hope to see something different for sure. Because if we don't change anything up, I mean, Tuchel's gonna have the boys ready, and we're gonna get absolutely smashed. Yeah, I mean, the only
incoming 1-0 West Ham win.
Yes,
100%.
That is. We are
Antonio and Ben Rama link up 1-0, silence all of us, and we'll go our merry way.
Absolutely, and a clean sheet. Real quick, I'm just curious on what you guys think for next week's last group stage game for Europa League. Would you start Areola, or would you like to see David Martin get a shout?
Sentimental value.
Yes.
Do you know what? I'd give it David Martin because I think Areola will obviously start against Spurs in the cup. I'd just for the sentimental value, I'd give David Martin a go. Like I said, I think Areola's big game is obviously Spurs in the cup. So yeah, give it not Randolph because he's a woman beater. But give it. Why not give David Martin just to say he can play in Europe for his boyhood team? Yeah, but I would be going the likes of Sonny Perkins, Vlasic, Lanzini, Crowell, Noble,
Chester's
maybe.
Yeah,
maybe Baptiste.
Elise, Baptiste, one of the, 3 or 4 youth team players, and then players that are looking to break into
Ashby
the first
too,
team.
yeah.
So
yeah, let me see them Ute.
Let me see the Utes.
What were you gonna say, James?
No, I just think basically some of them players have to come in, but we've got to be careful that we don't put in people like Vlasic or Crowell and they pick up an injury, a lack of playing time. Do you know what I mean? So, it's just get the game done. Just get out, get the game, get there, get the game done, dusted. But I'll tell you something now. If we've got to make sure that come January, right? Mr. Daniel's going to have to get his wallet out and start forking out some dough because we need some players at this club urgently.
All right, so we're all predicting 1-0 West Ham Saturday. Good old shithouse result.
Nah, 3-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm not as confident on this one. I'm going to say 2-0 Chelsea. I think they will score a couple of goals, shut up shop, and then we'll just see it out. See it out.
I'll go 3-0 Chelsea. All right, and that is enough of our what's the word? Our
This has been the American Hammers happy hour.
This is the after work happy hour. and not the good kind.
Unhappy Howard. Yeah.
Before we go, thank you to everyone in the chat, everyone watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We appreciate you all. Thank you, Scott, Top Geese. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Helen. You're the best. Thank you, Tarek, my brother, my DC Iron brother. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Shiny. Big ups. And thank you, Two Down Hammers. And till next time, let's pray for a result on Saturday. Not very optimistic, but, fuck it. The West Ham way. You never know what's going to happen. We will see you guys soon. Take care.
Peace.
Take care, man.